Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Raw Rebound. I am, of course, Cody Brandon here, and I'm going to be reviewing Raw. And this Raw's weird. I don't know why. Just something feels doesn't feel right about this Raw. Maybe because it was kind of a lack of follow-up on what happened at the end of Raw last week. And it had a weird main event because Ronda Rousey was in it. Well, not because Ronda Rousey was in it. I shouldn't say that. Because Alicia Fox was in it. And it just feels weird. We opened up Kurt Angle, opened up the show with Baron Corbin. Says Brock Lesnar's not a champion. Promotes Ronda Rousey and starts talking for a little bit. Then Roman Reigns comes out of the ring. And it looks like they teased a little bit of like, oh, Brock's going to get suspended. Or Roman brought it up. He's like, oh, you better not suspend Brock Lesnar. I don't give a damn what he did. You don't suspend him. Angle's like, no, not suspending him. I hope he kick his ass. And then Corbin's like, oh, that's unprofessional of you. You make the matches around here. I'm the one that's got to keep control of you. And Angle's like, well, yeah, you're right. I do make matches. Which is why I'm going to make Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns the opening match of Raw. And match wasn't bad. I'm not going to say this is a bad match. It did feel like it kind of dragged a little bit. Because usually whenever they get through, two commercials in one match, it's kind of a bit of a drag. For me, it's start off the match for a little bit, then commercial, then come back and then the match, then maybe do a segment and then commercial after that. That's just me though. But Roman Reigns picks up the victory after Balor prevents Corbin from running away. And then afterward, Finn Balor drop kicks Corbin into the corner. Corbin into the corner. That's a little bit hard to say. And then coup de grace, getting revenge on Baron Corbin for last week. Angle then makes a matchup, Seth Rollins and a partner of his choosing versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. This is the part where I think a lot of people were disappointed because the what ends up happening and what they were kind of hoping. I was kind of thinking, I wasn't really thinking it would happen, but I was just more so like, please, can it happen? Please, can you just give us this nice thing? But we get into a match, Bobby Roode and Mojo Rawley. Nothing too special about this match. Bobby Roode won, and thank God Bobby Roode won. I thought for sure they were going to give it to Mojo Rawley just to make people a little bit slighted. But no, Bobby Roode picks up the win in a match that wasn't very glorious. We then get a segment with Elias, who's probably, looks like he's filming another documentary. Starts performing, filming the documentary in the ring, and then Bobby Lashley comes out again. Elias says his whole comeback has been a joke. Lashley said, hey, think that's the case. What I'm going to do to you, if my name leaves your mouth, won't be a joke. And then Elias cheap shots Bobby, gets him off its end, but then Lashley beats him up. Has the film crew that's there be like, hey, film this. As he suplexes him, and then films Elias while he was down. It was better than Bobby. It's better than Bobby Lashley singing. That's for damn sure. We get Tyler Breeze confronting Rollins. It was like, hey, let me be your partner because I got nothing to do because my partner's out with an injury and all that. And he tries to do the Shield thing, and it's like Roman walks in. He's like, how many people are going to do this? And Rollins like, I don't know, man. But then Roman's like, yeah, I got your back tonight. And that's when people are like, oh, come on. And I'm kind of thinking just like, why does Roman need to compete twice? But he doesn't. I'll explain more in a little bit. We get a match, Razor versus Titus O'Neil. I did not give a damn about this match, but a spine buster by Razor, and Razor gets the victory, kind of evening the one-on-one matches at one-on-one apiece. Next, we move on to the Kevin Owens show on a little stage beside the entrance ramp. And Kevin Owens says, hey, you've been Braun Strowman. I've been Braun Strowman. And at SummerSlam, even though it was a freaking count-out victory, whatever, but a count-out win is still a win. And, hey, Braun Strowman can lose in any way, shape, or form, and I can win the Universal title back. And I haven't been the same since I've won the Universal title back, so I need to get it back. And then he's like, you know what? I want to see Jinder Mahal versus Braun Strowman again. He's probably the only one that wanted to see that happen again. And guess what happens? Braun tips over a thing again. What's going on, Malik? Braun Strowman does what he does best and flips shit that are big things. And yeah, Braun Strowman and Jinder Mahal, that ends in a disqualification. Kind of predicted that this would happen. That Jinder would probably win by disqualification, just to kind of show like, hey, he could lose by DQ with Countdown and lose the briefcase, even though we all know that he's probably not going to lose the briefcase. Corbin is talking with Stephanie, gives the phone to Kurt, and then we look at a history between Roman and Brock. A very good video package, in my view. You know, thanks for the reminder of the greatest Royal Rumble thing. Thanks for that. Kind of, you know what? We'll do just that. One sec, guys. Hope you guys don't mind. Last week I had a friend of mine, and this week I'm going to have another friend of mine come on this week. Why not? Did it once, do it again, no problem at all. 1 second, Malik. I got the right hangout link. Okay, yeah, that has to be the right one. Give me 1 sec. There we go, man. Oh yeah, BT's new song. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit. After you know, Seth and Roman on the way to the ring, but Kurt Angle was like, guys, got some bad news. But then Corbin's the one that's like, hey, Roman, you're not competing. You're not allowed to go out there because we're trying to protect the main event. And then we get this funny thing where Roman is like, hey, how's your ribs? Punches him in the ribs. As we've got Malik X here in the building. What's going on, man?
What's up, buddy? How you doing tonight? I got off work early. I didn't catch all of the show, but I caught enough on my lunch break. And when I came home, like I said, the Ronda Rousey main event, didn't enjoy it too much because past 11, you had Alexa Bliss still in the ring, flapping her gums, putting over Alicia Fox, which was, to me, was pointless. But Ronda Rousey, I guess they were just saving for, you know, I guess you could say the after strain broadcast to get people watching past 11 o'clock to watch Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, man, I get what you're saying. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit.
Sure.
I'm on Dolph and Drew versus Seth Rollins handicap match because people were thinking during the show that maybe Ambrose would come back or maybe someone would come back, but just turns to a handicap match. You know, it is what it is, and it was not a horrible handicap match, not a good one by any least, but like not bad. You've got 3 great performers like Rollins, Ziggler, and McIntyre. They can make almost anything work. Almost anything.
Here's the thing. You said Seth Rollins, it was a handicap match. What happened to Roman Reigns? I thought he had his back. That's what he said in the dressing room.
What happened with that is that right before they got out there, they had a thing where Corbin and Angle stopped Roman from going out there because Roman had already competed and they want to protect the main event for SummerSlam. And so Rollins had to go out there by himself. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. But I'm saying I wouldn't tease that and hype that unless you're actually going to do it. You shouldn't. Well, okay. That's WWE for you.
Another weird thing that they kind of did, like I don't really hate it per se because it's them being honest about the thing, was that people were talking about Ambrose, and before the match began, Michael Cole had said something along the lines of Ambrose, those that are hoping for Ambrose, he's still out with injury, which I found very weird, but I'm not against that at the same time. It's kind of like their way of like, hey, don't get your hopes up, he's not around. And I'm like, oh, maybe they might be throwing us off. But the fact that they didn't and they were being honest about it, I'm like, that's kind of weird. I'm not against that by any means. That's, I mean, hell, I'm being fucking honest with the shit. So small points for that. But nevertheless, people will get their hopes up because you know how the dirt sheets go and the rumors and all that gets people excited. And
Yeah, and you get excited for a big letdown, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. But after that we get the B team. The B team come on to new theme that actually I'm gonna be perfectly honest, kind of fits them. They're like corny tag team deal, and they have corny music now. It does fit them to a fucking T, and it's weird. We get a match with them and the Revival that goes to a no contest when Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were on the opposite ends. I think it was Scott Dawson and Bo Dallas who were trying to reach out for their partners, and then lights went off, lights went back on, and Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were in the corners, and they attack the Revival and the B team afterwards, which is led to announce that next week on Raw, which I don't know why you're not doing this for SummerSlam, but hey ho, I mean for Raw, sure. Triple threat tag team title match, B team, the Revival, and the Deleted of World. Triple threat tag team championship match. I mean, I guess we're getting that on a Raw. Cool, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point though. Yeah, that would be a good SummerSlam match, either for the main show or the kickoff show.
Right. Like, put everything you possibly can. Like, this is the biggest party of the summer, and it's one of the big four. I would think they would want to put this on that, unless they do something next week to where it has to, it doesn't really happen and then gets postponed for SummerSlam, then I guess. But just kind of like delaying the inevitable if they do end up going that route just kind of seems a little bit ridiculous to me. But again, hey, WWE booking, I'm kind of used to this stuff by now, which is why I'm not I don't want to say bitch, but I don't complain as much. Like, there's stuff to complain about, of course, and there's stuff that's dry, but like when you've watched it for so long, you get used to this kind of booking, and it's just you're growing almost immune to it. You have things to say, of course, but like you've grown immune almost to it in a way.
Yeah, but the B team, yeah, they might be comic relief, but at least they're doing something with them. I mean, it's like they're slowly getting a push. I mean, it's like they can be funny or annoying, but they're slowly getting a push. I think if you probably push them out of the comedy and into maybe something more serious, I think those two could be something special in the coming years.
Right. And the thing is, like, those two guys, for as ridiculous as they are and for how much of a joke they've been looked, are underrated. More so Axel the Dallas. I'm more so of an Axel guy than a Bo Dallas guy. But like, this was Bo Dallas's first championship on the main roster. And how long has he been on there for? Like, he's only been on the main roster for like, I don't know, a long time.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, I'm saying 5 or 6 years. Yeah, and you're now giving him a championship. I mean, see, this is WWE. See, I think what it is, if you're lucky enough to get to survive, I guess, more than 2 years or 3 years without getting released, then you're mid card at best, and then all of a sudden you put with somebody, and all of a sudden the slow push comes, and this is probably, I'm pretty sure both of those guys are not good friends with Triple H. I mean, I'm pretty sure they do what he says, or they're cordial with each other, or they're on good terms, of course, but they're not good buddy. So if unless you're good buddy with Vince and Triple H, your push is going to be slow at best or not at all.
Right. I think that whole thing applies to Vince more than Triple H, but that's a whole another thing to go on. But after that, we got the Paul Heyman. Oh, sorry, what were you going to say, Malik?
I said that's true, but of course, as far as we're talking about more Vince than Triple H, I'm thinking Triple H is basically poised to take the throne because Vince, I think, is less and less, less and less hands-on, but he still has the final say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he does. We get to the Paul Heyman interview, which was... I don't really know what... See, WWE is weird sometimes with Heyman. If you remember years ago when they put him with Ryback, and he was kind of like the... I don't want to say grandpa or father figure, so to speak, but like kind of like... I'm not sure how to put it, but they're kind of making him like this again with the whole Brock Lesnar situation. Like, one of the lines they said was like, he said that he imagined them riding off to the sunset together with the Universal and UFC championships, and I'm like, you didn't want us to get mixed signals with the Bayley Sasha Banks thing, but you're giving us mixed signals a little bit with this. some would probably mistakenly think that, wait, it means riding the sunset in that way. But it says that with Brock, this focused and all that, violent and focused, that Roman doesn't stand a chance. And that's that. The interview just ends there. It's just, but the with kind of like the tears in his eyes, it seemed like it. I don't know. I didn't really feel this whole thing with Heyman. And Heyman is great. I just didn't feel it. It wasn't something for me, honestly.
Yeah, like I said, I can't wait to watch this. I haven't watched it yet, but I hear what you're saying. It sounds like, Paul Heyman understands what Brock did to him, but also there's speculation that Paul might turn on Brock at SummerSlam, and then I guess you say advocate for Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns turn heel. Of course, that's a good angle. That sounds good on paper, or some people might like to see that. I don't know.
The only thing I will say when it comes to that is how will they pull it off with how Brock Lesnar has been. It wouldn't be a whole lot of sense, and it would make.
That's true.
It
Yeah,
would just be a complete 360 on the whole thing that they're doing. They're playing off how people perceive Brock Lesnar as this egomaniacal, lazy bastard that he is. And for me, with that, I'm like, you don't have to really portray that on TV. I get that they're doing that, and I mean, points to them, but you don't have to play it on TV for people to perceive it as that. It's, I don't know. But hey, I mean, I guess bring a little bit of reality in the whole thing, trying to make it as close to a shoot as possible, like they've been trying to do, trying to get this feud over for 3 years. Hasn't worked. But they're gonna keep going with it until SummerSlam. But aside from that, we got the Riot Squad, Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan versus Bayley and Sasha Banks, a rematch from last week. Ends with Ruby Riott returning and allowing the Riot Squad to pick up a victory. And I haven't even really noticed this, but looking at the calendar, we're at 13 days until SummerSlam. And they were teasing a Sasha Banks and Bayley match. If there was going to be a turn, this was probably the last chance to do so. So, I don't know what the hell they're doing with the whole Bayley Banks thing. There were rumors that they was going to have it at SummerSlam, and it would have, and from the way they were building it, it looked like it made sense for a thing at SummerSlam.
That's for sure.
Whenever they did the whole Sasha Banks saying she loves Bayley thing, I was like, okay, well, maybe they might team up for a week or two and then stab in the back, someone turn heel, and they're sticking with it as a team, which is odd. Something tells me we're not going to get the Sasha Bayley match at SummerSlam, because I think for that, a turn should have happened by now. So another rumor that goes down the drain. And that one I'm more so disappointed in than what we had earlier on with possibility of Ambrose coming back. But that one, a little bit more disappointed, though, I'm going to be honest. But
I hear you. Now, as far as Bayley and Sasha for a second, Bayley was one that had the promising heel turn when she attacked Sasha weeks ago. But all of a sudden, like I said, this angle where they love each other, which some people were teasing like maybe some HLA, if you know what that means. I'm pretty sure you do.
Lesbian action.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. But anyway, it's just really, really good friendship. And now with the Riot Squad, like I said, with Ruby Riott coming back, yeah, they had a chance. Basically, what I was thinking was they had a chance to do something with Bayley finally to have her stand out instead of her sinking like she is. Because even though you got to tag it with Sasha clearly overshadows Bayley as far as like being entertaining, and Bayley is just gonna be stuck, sinking in mediocrity. Because when she turned heel and that was Angus, that was her best work to me. That made her the more entertaining because it was a turn and a side of her that you didn't see, and the fans were liking it. I mean, I was digging it. I was hoping for more of that. But yeah, like you said, this is WWE. All angles all around. Everything goes weird. They kill something that they should have built, that they should have let burn bright, and they're pushing things, like I said, that we're not excited to see. So yeah, I think Bayley is just another victim. And also on another note, I don't know if you talked about this yet. Titus Worldwide. That's pointless. And Dana Brooke, Dana Brooke has got such a talent, and but of course you put Titus with one of the guys with all the Japan, who's basically being pushed, because that was Paul Ellering's proteges in NXT. I guess you could say the black version of the Road Warriors, So I don't know what the hell Dana Brooke is doing with Titus Worldwide. To me, that whole gimmick, that whole stable is basically just also comic relief.
Pretty much comic relief, and this whole thing with the Other Japan rivalry, or at least mini rivalry, so to speak, has been kind of, I don't know why. Like, they beat them twice, and now all of a sudden, we're gonna keep going with this. I don't get it. Scott does bring up a good point in the comments, and this might be why we're probably not gonna get it at SummerSlam. He says, I think Sasha versus Bayley will happen at Evolution, and that, I mean, all women's pay-per-view, they might do it for that. They might save it to that, by all means, and I think it would be good for that pay-per-view. But damn it, I'm selfish because I want a Sasha Banks Trish Stratus match. I want that so bad. But I mean, Bayley and Sasha could tear down the house at Evolution if that match does take place. So if they are saving it for the Evolution, then that would be a good reason to save it up. But
yeah, that's a good point. Good points all around, yeah. And Lita and Trish are coming back for Evolution, as well as Beth Phoenix, because she's going to be there. So you're going to have the what did Natty and Beth Phoenix call themselves? The Glam Slam, or the Glamazons of Destruction or something.
You talked about her tag team with Natalia.
Yeah, at the time, yeah, when Beth was still wrestling, they called themselves the Glam something of Destruction or something like that.
I don't remember. That's been a bit, actually. Since
I remember they called themselves something, or the Sisters of Destruction or something like that. It was something like that. I know she was the Glamazon.
It might have been Sisters of Destruction. It might have been Sisters of Destruction.
That's what it was, yeah. Sisters of Destruction, yeah.
That just sounds like something WWE would do.
Yeah.
I know that was around 2011.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Now, speaking of Evolution, here's someone else I don't see that seems to have disappeared, but they say she's injured, but I don't know. Tamina Snuka. What happened to her?
She's got a shoulder injury right now. She's been out for a while with a shoulder injury, and from what I heard when it came to her injury, that she already had surgery for. I think it said whenever she was injured, she was going to be out for about 9 months. I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
She could be there at Evolution. We'll have to see. But speaking of women, we get a main event involving Alicia Fox. Never thought I would say that sentence in my entire life.
I tell you.
Alicia Fox, main events Raw. Just like Lita and Trish Stratus. There's the sentence right there.
Yep.
But we get an interview beforehand. I'm not going to talk about that. It was Bliss yapping her gums and all that. Ronda Rousey comes out, and then weird main event introduction for like a championship match on Monday Night Raw. They're really going all out for this whole Ronda Rousey thing. Match itself, nothing really special, honestly. Not really a good match. Wasn't necessarily a Ronda. I'm going to say that. Like, you remember, like, she has, like, how one of the first moves she did whenever she first came around was, like, grabbing the leg, kind of like a regal plex a little bit, but, like, tosses her back. That was performed badly, and Alicia Fox landed, like, very awkwardly. Made me cringe very bad. But Ronda Rousey blocking in the armbar, making Alicia Fox tap out. And then we get try another interview afterwards, and Bliss tries to attack, but doesn't pay off, and that's how the show ends.
Yeah, with Ronda Rousey saying, I'm going to take that belt and slam it down the microphone like she's really tough. Ronda Rousey might be good athletically, but her promos to me are just terrible. I mean, she's trying to be intimidating and menacing and, tough, but to me, it doesn't work. I understand that Roddy Piper gave her his blessing, because we see the design of the shirt, and his son gave her the jacket, but she will never be Roddy Piper. I'm sorry. It's not because she's a woman. It's because she doesn't have the it factor that Piper had when it came to wrestling, of course, and especially talking promos.
That is the one thing that she's kind of missing. Now, she isn't the worst at talking, but I mean, I think if you just left it at the intimidating look in her eyes and her beating people up, you might be it'd be just fine, honestly, with me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they'll let it talk because a lot of people say that about Roman Reigns. Though they'll let him talk, just let him be a monster. But Ronda Rousey, when she's silent and she's has that glare in her stare, that's entertaining. And she can fight. Like I said, she's a former UFC fighter. But when you have her talk, and critics even saying this, even when she was on commentary weeks ago, people could tell, especially when Corey Graves, asked her that, that comment about her husband, it made her uncomfortable. I mean, she's basically not a good actress as far as talking and trying to be entertaining verbally with the fans.
Yeah. And I think the thing with that that kind of like messes up with it, but they're not going to do anything about it right now. I should say is the fact that a lot of the times whenever she's talking, unless she's like pissed off, she's a face. And like I get her gimmick is like sort of lovable person, but will kill you in the ring if you piss her off. That's just the best thing I could come up with.
Yeah, that's true.
And like her talking wise, as I've stated before, is not the worst, but it isn't really that good. It looked like a little bit that she was improving, but then, like you said, Money in the Bank came around, and the talk and all that just wasn't really. Talking is not her best suit, and I mean, then again, UFC like they do kind of like promos per se, quote unquote, but they're actually like the person's basically all they got to do is just speak, like after a fight, like, oh, well, how did you go about this fight and all that, and that's them talking like. Just them talking normally, and that's not hard for anyone to do. But.
That's true. And as far as her moniker that they gave her, the baddest woman on the planet, I don't think so. Because remember, before she came here, who beat that ass? Amanda Nunes. I would say Amanda Nunes is the baddest woman on the planet. So
Yeah.
remember, it was Amanda who knocked her out. I mean, not knocked her out on her back, but knocked her out enough where the ref had to stop the fight. So just remember that. So, that's why I don't go with that baddest woman on the planet. That's just a gimmick, for them to hype her up all the time. Because basically, she's now become the face of the women's division in WWE. Because you notice on the Evolution poster, she's in the center. She's become the centerpiece of the women. You know what I mean? Which puts all the women in a back seat, even Alexa Bliss.
Right. Not that am a big fan of Alexa Bliss being in the main event picture all the time. But, I mean, it's just a weird situation with the Raw Women's Championship. That either way it goes, I think that really neither one of them should be the Raw Women's Champion because Bliss has been champion long enough throughout the main roster. Take a break from the belt. And Ronda Rousey, she's been around enough to where, to the level of she could be champion. I mean, Brock, again, similarities with Brock, not trying to compare her to Brock, but Brock debuted the Raw after Mania. That year, SummerSlam, he won the belt. Ronda Rousey debuted at WrestleMania. SummerSlam, she could very well win the belt.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, if she does win the belt, I'm guessing they might keep her on her maybe for a year at the most. I'm guessing or I'm thinking, she may become the female version of Hulk Hogan, of course, like back in the 80s, if she wins the belt. I'm not saying they're going to do Rousemania or nothing like that, but, she'll be the main event piece of the women. And then and the thing is, how long that lasts until maybe the women start to get pissed off or annoyed and upset, okay, she's had the belt this long. I know it's Ronda Rousey, but, hey, let's have a shot again,
Right. It all will be a matter of time.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, man. Overall, this Raw, like I said, it was weird. I'm kind of not intrigued by it, and that was weird because WWE tries to make it good, hypes up the fact that Ronda is debuting on Raw, puts her in the main event spot, allowing Alicia Fox to main event Raw. Again, a sentence I never thought I would say.
Yeah, true.
The Raw tag title match next week should really be at SummerSlam. But hey, at least we know Matt Hardy's not retiring. That's a good thing. And then the whole what's gonna happen on the Raw before SummerSlam.
Yeah, the go home show. Yeah. Well, I'm guessing things might get weirder. And as far as Alicia Fox goes, congratulations to her for main eventing. This is probably the highlight of her career for the 6 years she's been there, or 10 years she's been there.
Yep.
Because she'll never see a main event spot like this again.
Probably won't. Probably won't. But yeah, they didn't advertise Brock because apparently Brock Lesnar might not be on the Raw go home show before SummerSlam.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you talked about it. What did you think? What did you think of the Kevin Owens spot? He's basically becoming all comic relief to me. You know, you got him interviewing Jinder Mahal of all people, and then Braun Strowman flips over the table. Like, I'm like, okay, now this is. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of Kevin Owens about, you know, all this other crap he's spewing, you know, in his promos. So, you know, it's really not funny. I think he tries to be funny, but he's not funny.
The thing is, they're putting him too much in a position of comedy. They've made him the comedy guy on Monday Night Raw when it comes to the male division, and that's your first reigning. Well, that's your second ever Universal Champion, if you guys remember that from a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, when he was being pushed, and they had him fight Cena, and he was good and he was serious, you know. And like I said, he can wrestle. But as the years go by, you know, things change. They want to do this, they want to do that, and like you said, it's getting weird with a capital W.
And they're trying to push this possibility that Braun can lose by count out or disqualification. And I'm just sitting here just thinking, like, you can't fool me. I know Braun's winning. This is not Kevin Owens' comedy. He's not going to win the damn briefcase unless they completely swerve everyone and decide, well, let's make Kevin Owens the champ. Which that wouldn't make it believable, especially with all the hell he's been through against Braun Strowman. Like, and I like Braun, but I don't like the fact that they're feeding Kevin Owens to Braun. That was the second Universal Champion. You remember when there was a reigning and defending champion, an actual one, not one that sits on his ass? I don't. It's been too long.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and then you had the first one, Finn Balor. He was working, but they decided to screw him because look at him now. He's become something of a joke too, with his storylines. You know, the thing with Baron Corbin, and what the hell did they do? What the hell did they do to Corbin? I don't understand that shit. He was great like he was, being a monster, being mean, badass, long hair, the leather jacket coming in the ring. Now you put him and you dress him up and cut his hair, and you called him the Constable.
Right.
Whose fucking idea was that? Oh, let me guess. I mean, it had to be WWE creative. It was probably Triple H. It had to be the Constable.
Well, Triple H is the one. Triple H is more so running NXT than WWE. It was more so, probably, I'm willing to bet, it was good old Jesse James' idea, the Road Dogg.
Oh, Road Dogg Dick shit did that. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, that's him. He's just he's almost just like Vince in a way, and Triple H.
Remember, Triple H is the mastermind behind NXT. And, of course, if everyone's seen NXT, you know that's good shit down there. I doubt Triple H has been known to be a lot of things, you know, sleeping with the boss's daughter all the way to the top. Yeah, that was a thing, definitely a thing. But one thing I can't deny is that what he's doing in NXT is great. Although, I wonder when he's going to come up with a plan when it comes to Aleister Black's injury and the main event for TakeOver.
Oh, Aleister Black is injured?
Yeah, Black suffered a groin injury when Tommaso Ciampa low-blowed him, and apparently Aleister Black landed wrongly at a live event. But, of course, you won't be able to tell with the match Gargano versus Aleister Black on NXT because that was pre-taped before all that happened. So.
Okay, yeah. Now, I've heard good things and seen good things about Aleister Black. He's probably going to be a future main eventer when he comes to the main roster, but hopefully the main roster won't be weird with him like we're talking about right now. You know, seem like people from NXT when they come to the main roster somehow just subconsciously they get ruined.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It's like a cycle, you know. But go ahead.
It's just it makes people that's why people would want, and this is a thing that I think would be a good idea. If you're not going to use someone, you know who could use them and could put future stars against people that have been on the main roster and have won championships on the main roster? But some people in NXT, like Tyler Breeze, has been appearing in NXT live events very recently. Like maybe like at some point, if you're not using them, put them in send them down at NXT, put them in a program with someone, make good shit happen. I think that would have happened. There'd be more of a stable system, and it'd be like, oh wait, I want to see good shit from this guy. Okay, we'll put him down in NXT, and Triple H can do his work with that. That's just my view on it, and I think they're kind of like they might end up doing that with how Tyler Breeze has been on the NXT house shows, which I hope they do. I think that would be good use for a lot of people, and that way people won't perceive the main roster WWE like they do, and there isn't all hope lost per se.
That's for sure, because I kind of got tired of the fashion police shit, and especially Breezango, excuse me, and even tonight, when he offered to be Seth Rollins' tag team partner, the selfie stick, the fur things he's wearing, that's kind of, just kind of, take that off him, make him more manly again. Like I said, send him down to NXT, do something with him, make him some kind of badass in his own way. Find that in him, bring that out, By
all means, but hold on one second.
But in all seriousness, I think this Raw was, I guess, I would call it below a 2 to a 1 for the most part. Like I said, I got to go back and watch the opening segment. I'm pretty sure that was a lot of some talking, some yakking too at one point.
Yeah, that's the thing that led to the Corbin and Reigns match to open up Raw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Baron Corbin. Yeah. So basically, Roman Reigns fought the Constable tonight.
And beat the Constable.
Oh, that's good. But it's like as good as not much. Oh, one last note: Bobby Lashley and Elias. Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar should have happened. It still could happen in UFC, but it should have happened at SummerSlam. But somebody I know called it like he saw it. They knew Bobby Lashley was going to lose, and now we got to see Brock and Roman Reigns for the umpteenth time. See, Bobby Lashley is being wasted. I mean, in my book. And you're wasting him on Walk with Elias. Personally, I like to rename that. I'm gonna call it Whack Off with Elias. That's what he is to me. That's some bullshit here.
Thing is, they had a dream match in front of them, and they could have gone with the dream match, and people would have been happy to see it. But nope, Roman Reigns.
But no, yeah, there's the key word. But no, yep.
Oh, so friggin' hold on, Scott. If that's true, then they're stealing the WWE stealing stuff from Star Trek now. Apparently, there was a constable on Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. So that's probably where they got the name Constable from. Is from Star Trek.
Really? Wow, really? So you have a Trekkie in the WWE. Oh, that's really sad. If you got to get gimmick names from Star Trek of all places.
Why? Why can't they just?
Why don't just have one of them come on the show at the end of the show and say, "Live long and prosper," and make their hand a Vulcan.
Right. They're. See, WWE's lucky I've been watching since I was 4 years old. So we're on 16 years now. I'm lucky I'm fucking loyal to this point, but I know they do some stupid shit. I did not know that though, Scott. Jesus Christ. Oh God. But on that note, that interesting fact, that's going to wrap it here. Malik, you want to plug your stuff, man? Go right on ahead.
All right, I'm the Professor Malik X. You find me on Facebook and Twitter. Like I said, I do mostly wrestling videos, wrestling commentary, and whenever there's any kind of wrestling drama or wrestling nonsense, you'll find me doing a video and responding to it.
That's what it is, man. I'd like to thank Malik for coming on. He actually shot me a message saying he wanted on, and that was when I immediately went in and set the link, because why not have done a show with Malik in a while since I think it was something that we did on the network about
Yeah, something maybe about like a couple months ago when I joined you.
yeah,
I think yeah,
believe so.
yeah. It was wrestling. It was wrestling. It was also I think politics too because I think we were talking about the government and the presidency. I believe also.
Something along the lines of
Yeah.
that.
Like I said, I've always been a big fan of the NWS Revolution. Shout out to the whole revolution, everybody. Big Scotty, Noah Watts, Chase Holland, who I've not met, and also Mr. Cody Mercer, who also I've never met, but I've seen his stuff. So
I appreciate the kind word as always, Malik. We're obviously in the chat when it comes to whatever we're doing, whether it's here or the NWS Revolution or the network, whatever the case may be. We obviously, man. Malik's a real good guy, man. Happy to talk to him, and him and I have talked to me now and then, whenever something's going on and all that. And yesterday I did. He's the he was how I found out the news that I talked about on the network. Yesterday I had to thank him for that whole nonsense. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at the NWS network on the Brainerd controversial discussions, and that's all I'm going to say because that whole thing anymore will give me a headache. By the way, the news article was I figured that out. I did research on that site, and it's known to be one of those sites where we're gonna take something and twist it completely. But that's a whole other thing. On the actual thing that's going on the network for another time. But guys, if you liked the Raw Rebound this week, or if you didn't like Raw, let us know in the comments down below. You can also like, comment, share, and subscribe. Currently working on editing stuff for the tournament right now. I'll probably get to work on that as soon as I hop off here. But guys, for Malik X, for Scott in the comments right there. Like I said before, we are passionate wrestling fans who are not afraid to shoot from the hip, no matter what company it is. Not just WWE, it's all around the world because it ain't just WWE the stupid shit. They do a lot of stupid shit, but not just them. But
that's for sure.
Yeah. But guys, for now, I must bid you all, not meaning to steal this line, of course, but hey, you know what? It makes sense with the NWS National Wrestling Shures. Goodbye and good night.